Alright, so hey everyone, how's it going? This is rexfurry here, and welcome back to yet another gaming tutorial, and today what we're going to be going over is some rain and lightning effects. As you guys can see here, we got some pretty radical effects going on, and this example here that I made for this tutorial, you can actually find in the description below to download. It will probably be up on my website somewhere, and it is a very simple example, so don't worry about that. And also, it might be lagging just a little bit because I'm recording, but trust me, it does go a little bit faster than what you guys are probably seeing, and a lot more fluid. So, anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and just begin. Alright, so we're inside the Game Maker here, and we just have some very few objects, as you'll notice. This is a very simple tutorial to follow, despite all these alarms here. They look very monstrous or whatever at first, but they just have simple little code blocks in them, as you guys can see. Let's go ahead and start off on this sprite here, because there are a few things I want to mention. One, you don't have to really keep with this sprite here if you're using the example. If you're making your own by going off this tutorial, basically, you can just make whatever the heck you want. This is just a simple 8x8 sprite, and if you really wanted to, you could change this up to maybe like a whole entire block or whatever, and change up the size to something like, I don't know, 32 by 32. The only thing this would do is it would change, one, the look of the little raindrop object here, and two, the size of it. So that basically is pretty much all you need to be aware of that. Other than that, that's pretty much it about the sprite itself. So let's go ahead and progress down here to the background, and the background is pretty much just that. It's just a simple background, and I obviously made the foreground so the rain kind of goes behind it, but you could do really whatever you want for a background. You don't even need a background, so if I wanted to, I could just go ahead and delete this, but I think it looks, a little nice. It kind of spruces up the example a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and head down here to the objects. Now, you notice we have two separate objects, one being the obj underscore rain underscore drop object, and two being the obj underscore controller object. Let's go ahead and start off with the rain object first, because this kind of corresponds with the controller object more than vice versa. So what I did here was I added an event and a create event, and in over the move tab, or in over at the move tab, there we go, I clicked and dragged over a move free event. And in this move free event, the direction is set to 260. Now, if you wanted to, you could change this up to something like 270 or whatever, which is more downward, but I think 260 works out pretty good for me and for this little sprite here. But you could change this to whatever you want, so just gonna be wary of that. And for the speed, I put it to a speed of 5 because it's, I think that is pretty decent. You could change this up to whatever you like as well, though, like speed 10 or speed 11, whatever. That'd be obviously pretty fast, but I think speed 5 is pretty good for my taste. Alright, now the next thing I went ahead and did is add an event and an outside room. And in here what I did is added a code block from the control tab, and in this code block it says instance destroy. Now this is just a simple kind of a lag reducer, I suppose. So when all your rain goes outside of the room, it just automatically gets destroyed, and so it's kind of like it's not stacking up on there, and so there's a whole bunch of objects in the room just being created, and so that kind of helps to reduce lag in your games. Alright, now into the obj underscore controller object. In here we have, again, another create event, and in this create event we have another code block from the control tab, and what we have going on here is an alarm 0 equals 150. So this is basically saying that alarm 0 is going to be activated every 150 steps, or at least in the beginning every 150 steps, because this is only when the object is created. And we'll kind of get back to it and kind of turn a giant loop in the very end. Excuse my stuttering here, guys. I don't know what's going on today. But the next thing we got going on here is a alarm 0 event. And same thing, another code block. And this time what's going to happen is in this alarm 0 event, every single time alarm 0 is activated, the background color is going to equal C underscore LT gray, which is basically just a gray color. And after that, alarm 1 is going to be activated, or at least set to 5 steps till activation. And it's pretty much the same process. That the background color is going to change to black, so it's basically just going to dramatically change colors really fast to kind of give that lightning illusion. And after that we have an alarm 2 equals 5. And also, really quickly, if you guys want to kind of slow these down at least a little bit, you can go ahead and change these numbers right here for next to the alarms to kind of slow down or speed up how fast they transition to each different color, so just kind of be aware of that. Alright, so alarm 2, pretty much same thing, although the, I guess, alarm's on top and the background's on bottom. It doesn't really matter, you can do whatever you want. I just kind of, I guess, wrote it like this and didn't bother to change it back. But yeah, we got the same thing going on here, background color's changing. And now in alarm 3, you'll notice that instead of alarm 4 here, we have alarm 0 equals 150. And this is basically making sure that after everything is finally done, it's going to take a little break. All the lightning is done. It's going to take a little break, and after 150 steps, it's going to loop all the way back to alarm 0 and repeat the process. So that's pretty nice. That's a neat little effect there, although it does use a lot of alarms. I think it is still pretty nifty. Alright, so finally in the step event, what we have going on here is instance create random room width obj, or obviously little comma y, comma obj underscore rain underscore drop, and oops, that if random does not need to be there. Alright, and basically what this is doing is it's basically saying that whenever the rain is getting created here, excuse me, the rain is basically going to get created anywhere at the top of the room here. So it could get created over here, over here, over here, whatever, and once it's created, it's just going to do its thing. We obviously just went over what it's going to do. It's just going to go down at a speed of 5, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. So basically, the controller here is taking care of both the lightning and the raindrop is just the raindrop, and it corresponds with the controller. And all you need to do is just go into a room and get your controller object and place it anywhere you like. I just place it right here, and then just run the game, and we're back to pretty much where we started. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. As I said earlier, link to download this example is in the description below, and possibly with the code. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I guess I might put the code. But anyway, feel free to comment, rate, subscribe. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully it helped you out. And until next time, guys, until next video, this has been rexfurry, and I will see you all then.